Hello everybody, Tyranno here, and welcome back to the Le Royale dev server, where today we are taking a look at the Soviet Object 435, which is a new Soviet tank coming to War Thunder at battle rating 8.3, between the T-10M at 8.0 and T-64A 1971 at 9.0. So this is helping to fill the gap between those two vehicles in the heavy tank lineup section of the Soviet tech tree. Because of course that is quite a big gap, that is a 1.0 gap, so the Object 435 nicely helps to fill that gap. Now this is fitted with the same 115mm U5TS gun as used on the T62, which is superior to the T10M, with APFS DS rounds capable of penetrating 322mm at 500 metres, and a Heat FS shell capable of penetrating 440mm. So like I say, superior to the T10M, but inferior to the T64A, and of course equivalent to the T62 because it's the same gun. In addition to the main gun, you've also got a 14.5mm KP-VT machine gun mounted on the roof, and you've got a 7.62mm machine gun in a coaxial position. Now the armour is a little bit interesting because in theory it's actually a little better than the T64A. You've got an equivalent armour thickness from about 215 to around 230mm. But of course, while the T64A has slightly less effective armour thickness, as you can see here, it's in the high 180s up to the low... Oh, where's it gone? Up to the low 200s. Of course, the T64A does have composite armour. The Object 435, as you can see, does not. So this is probably one of the better pure armour tanks, but it is outclassed by the higher ranked composite armour vehicles. It's a bit harder to measure the turret because it's a variable thickness, but as you can see here, it's a very weak spot here, about 200mm. So if you hit these weak spots right next to the mantlet, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But of course, as you go further out, you end up with a ridiculously thick armour up to the 400s of millimeters. But yeah, this is not the strongest turret in the world. And of course, the side armour is only 84mm, and the rear is 49mm, and it's much the same story with the turret for the sides and rear as well. Although the sides are not as bad because they've got 180mm with more effective armour due to the sloping effect. And although it's a bit hard to hit, you can see some of the effective thickness for the armour around here is not particularly great. So if you're on a slope and shooting downwards, you can easily hit the turret, which is itself only about 30mm thick. Speed is actually worse than the T10M and the T64A at only 27.8 miles an hour, or a little under 45 kilometers an hour. So this is going to struggle a little bit with regards to mobility, because like I say, the T10M is capable of 33 miles per hour and the T64A of 42 miles per hour. So yeah, that kind of surprised me with this vehicle. I thought it'd be a little bit faster, to be honest. And lastly, we have the crew. You can see the driver is in a bit of a perilous position between two fuel tanks, and he's the only one in the hull. And then you've got the gunner, commander, and loader in the turret. And you can see most of the ammo is stored right here at the back, which does provide a little bit of additional protection. Although you've also got some shells here on the side, which is not particularly great, especially with that thin side armour. Now, unfortunately, I can't take this out for a test drive because, unfortunately, I don't have the previous vehicles unlocked. I'm still a little way from unlocking them. But hopefully, this has given you a little bit of a good overview of the Object 435. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Hopefully, you'll join me for the next one. I've been Tyranno, and I'll see you next time.